I was just an ordinary college student with hopes and dreams like anyone else. But on that fateful night, my world turned into a living nightmare. I came face to face with a serial killer, Ted Bundy. It was a twisted reality I could never have prepared for. That night started off seemingly ordinary. Laying in my bed, I drifted off into a deep sleep in my dorm, oblivious to the horrors that lurked just beyond my closed eyes. And then, abruptly, I was jolted awake by a sound that sliced through the silence like a blade. A sickening thud. Thinking it might have just been my roommate, I decided to ignore it and try to go back to sleep. That's when I started to hear some heavy breathing, coarse and ragged, which sent chills down my spine. My eyes shot open, pupils dilating as they adjusted to the darkness, searching for the source of the disturbance. And that's when I saw it. The unthinkable. A man, his silhouette ominous and towering, hunched over the lifeless body of my dorm mate. His hands groped her, violating the stillness of death with a perverse intensity. I watched the lifeless body bounce in reaction to the thrusts of his merciless assault. The room seemed to freeze in time, the air thick with a suffocating mix of fear and revulsion. The grotesque scene seared itself into the depths of my mind. A sick act of brutality that played out before my disbelieving eyes. It was a sight that defied reason, a nightmare made flesh that I couldn't comprehend. My heart thundered in my chest, pumping a combination of fear and revulsion through my veins. I had to escape, to flee from the nightmare that unfolded before me. With a surge of willpower, I eased myself off the bed, muscles aching with the weight of terror. The floor felt cold beneath my feet as I took my first tentative steps, trying to be as silent as a whisper in the night. Slowly and deliberately, I inched away from my bed, my senses acutely attuned to any sign that he was aware of my wakefulness. The cold floor beneath my feet felt foreign, each step a calculated risk. The urge to run, to scream for help, clawed at the edges of my mind, but I suppressed it, knowing that my survival depended on staying unnoticed. As I navigated the room, my heart throbbed in my chest. Each creak of the floorboards threatened to betray my stealth. But just as I thought I had made it to the door, a loud creak resonated through the room. My breath caught in my throat as I turned to see his piercing gaze locked onto me, his eyes glinting with predatory hunger. Panic surged within me, a primal instinct urging me to flee, to escape the clutches of this monstrous figure. With lightning speed, I pivoted on my toes, instinctively darting toward the window. But Bundy, fueled by his sadistic pleasure, lunged towards me, his hands grasping my trembling body. Desperation flooded my every fiber as I fought against his grasp, my adrenaline-fueled strength fueling my struggle. I clawed and kicked, my body fueled by a primal instinct to protect my own life. In a moment of desperation, I managed to break free from Bundy's grip, my body propelled towards the door. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat a thunderous reminder that time was running out. Adrenaline surged through my veins, lending wings to my feet as I raced down the corridor, a whirlwind of fear and desperation. I could hear Bundy's heavy footsteps behind me. Panic fueled my every step as I searched for an escape route, my mind racing. I had to find a way out. I sprinted to the stairwell leading to the lower floors. At the moment, it seemed to be the only path that held the promise of freedom. Ignoring the pain that seared through my body, I descended the stairs, my pounding heart propelling me forward. As I reached the bottom, my senses heightened, attuned to the smallest sounds, the faintest traces of safety. The knowledge that Bundy was in relentless pursuit intensified every second. Failure was not an option. I had to find a way to escape his clutches, to evade the malevolence that stalked my every move. But as I hurried through the dimly lit passages, a jarring realization struck me. The exit, the very path to freedom, was barred. The heavy metal door that led to the outside world stood before me like an impenetrable fortress. Despair threatened to consume me, my heart sinking with the weight of impending doom. I couldn't give up. Not now, not when my life hung in the balance. I scanned the surroundings, searching desperately for an alternative route for escape. And then, amidst the darkness, my eyes found a small ventilation shaft, barely large enough for a person to squeeze through. It was a risky gamble, but I knew I had no other choice. I had to take the chance. I approached the vent, my heart pounding in my chest. Anxiety gnawed at my insides. I had to be swift, to act decisively. With trembling hands, I removed the vent cover, revealing the narrow passage that awaited me. It was a claustrophobic space, damp and suffocating, but it was my only option. Slipping into the cramped confines of the vent, I maneuvered my way forward in the tight space. I crawled with determination, my elbows and knees scraping against the rough metal. And finally, after what felt like an eternity, a small gap emerged. With a surge of adrenaline, I wedged my body through the opening, disregarding the scrapes and bruises that accompanied my escape. I emerged, gasping for breath as I tumbled onto the ground outside. The moon bathed me in its pale glow, offering a fleeting moment of respite. I had escaped, at least for now. With trembling limbs and a racing heart, I pushed myself up, determined to put as much distance as possible between myself and the horrors I had left behind. The night air filled my lungs with a renewed sense of freedom. As if the weight of the world had been momentarily lifted. The memory of Bundy's malevolence would forever haunt me, but it would also fuel my determination to expose his darkness and protect others from falling victim to his insidious charms.